So today we're going to look at how to create a well-defined pain. The reason why people buy things is because they're looking for a solution. So we're going to talk about pain. We're going to really focus on pain. And the other thing that I'm going to focus on is what is called a what's in it for me factor. And this is what we must look at because we're looking at the point of view of our potential buyers, the people who are going to be buying from us. Everything must be from their point of view. So it's not about us. It's not even about the products and services that we sell. It's all about what solution we're bringing to the table and what's in it for our clients. So let's dive in. And you're going to really love what I have here. So have your paper and pen, and let's get started. Think about pain. I'd like you to think about common products and services that you use on a day-to-day basis. I've given the example here of 3 products and services: Apple, Tylenol, and the bank. Just what about Apple, Tylenol, or the bank? These are products and services that give us solutions to things that we would consider pains, but not really physical pain. So for example, if you need to send out a letter, so you need to type out a letter and send it out, well, if you don't have a device on which to type out your letter or a way in which to send it via email, then that becomes a pain. So Apple is that solution to that, and they make it such that you can type out your letter on a cell phone, so it's not just a desktop. They make it convenient for you to type out that letter and to send it in multiple ways. So that's how they become a great solution to that problem. When you have a pain, and let's say you use pharmaceutical drugs, when you're thinking of Tylenol, you're not really thinking about Tylenol, the brand. You're thinking about pain reliever. You're thinking about the end of the migraine or backache, whatever that case may be. And for banks, we have those very specific images, which is the holder of money, or where you can borrow money, where you can safeguard your money, whatever that idea is for you. But a bank becomes very important when we're dealing with money. So products and services are created to solve problems. And the solutions, they must be in response to 3 key factors: time, money, or health. We'll dive into this a little bit deeper as we go on. But what you'll find is that human beings, when it really boils down to it, we're motivated by time, money, and health. So we buy things based on whether they save us time, whether they create more money for us, whether they give us greater health, whether they make us feel better, well-being, whether they buy back time, whatever the case may be. It has to do with those 3 components because those 3 affect our lives directly and indirectly, including those we love. So what we have to think about when you're selling your products and services is, what is it in answer to? Is it time, money, or health? And again, we'll go deeper into this. Also, when you think about solutions and what sells and how to create compelling marketing copy, and also in our one-on-one discussions with people when we're showing them the benefits, it's really good to understand that human beings are motivated by either fear or desire. And so our language has to be one that invokes fear or one that evokes desire, one or the other. With desire, we're talking about aspirations. We see this a lot in health, where you have the picture of the person who's running or jogging, is fit, is healthy. And what that is it pulls at that desire to be fit and to be lovable, to be, the center of attention and beautiful and healthy and all of the things that are prescribed with that image. Or it could be fear, where, sometimes the marketing copy, let's say around health, will show the results of not taking better care of, say, your eating habits, or having a lifestyle that doesn't involve any exercise. And again, it's all the things that could go wrong. Those are the things that are brought up. So when you think about your products and your services, take this time out to think, what am I offering? Is it saving me time? Is it making life easier for me? Is it saving me money, or is it making me more money? How is this adding to my life? And for health, how is this helping me get and feel better? How is this adding to my quality of life? Take a moment for your products and services. And now, just to let you know that you could have one or two of these factors dropped in. If you have all three, then you're not being specific enough. Just really do the work. And even if you don't do it here with me right now, I want you to take the time to really do the work. The more specific you are, the greater your results, the faster your results. If you do not allow yourself to be specific and to do the work and dig in and figure out completely what it is that you're answering, then you find that you're going to get mediocre results. You're going to find that it's always going to take twice as long to get clients, twice as long to explain to people what it is that you do. But when you really narrow it down and say, okay, this is what I'm doing, and as far as time is concerned, this is what I'm doing as far as money is concerned, this is what I'm doing as far as health is concerned, the better off you are. So I'll just give you a minute to think about this. Good stuff. Now, we did talk about fear or desire, and I mentioned to you that people are triggered by fear or they're triggered by desire. And so what you'll see with marketing copy that is intentional and conversations that are intentional is that they prescribe to one or the other. Now, we must always think about things from the point of view of our potential clients, our potential customers, never from our point of view, never what we think, what we feel. It always must be what the other person is thinking, what the other person is feeling, what the other person wants. So what we want to do for ourselves is to know what their fears are and what their desires are. You know, fear is wanting to avoid a less favorable outcome. You know, nobody wants to lose money. Nobody wants to lose their health. Nobody wants to waste time. You know, those are things that people will avoid. They will do things to avoid that. But what about desires? People want better. People want more. So it's not that they're not maybe satisfied with what they have, but they want more of, they want more than, they want an increase. So you want to think about your problems that your potential clients endure, and think about what would be most effective. Is it helping them see that if they don't buy into your solution, that they're just going to get, you know, more of the pain, or are they going to end up at that place that they desire to be? So again, here's some really great homework for you. Write down the fears and the desires of your potential clients. Get really in tune with them. Now, if you don't know what these are, because it's not enough for you to suppose what they are based on your own information, you want to do some research. You want to reach out to people. You want to talk to people who've already bought from you, and you want to ask them what their fears are and what their desires are, and you want to write down what they say verbatim. Why? This is what makes effective marketing. You know, you want to know what their fears are, what their desires are, so that you can use that language. And if you are someone who uses workshops to attract clients, this is something that I have all my clients go through, so that they use this as a marketing tool. This is where this comes in handy when you're creating that workshop material that you're going to present. Now, a well-defined pain is going to attract exactly who you want. And the person that you want is the one who is looking for the solution and wants the solution now. Why is this important? Because that person is ready to buy, and they're more than willing and more likely to listen to you and then buy from you. So they're not just in the research stage, they're not in the information gathering stage. They're at that place where they've passed awareness, they're now in consideration, walking into purchase, and they want to know enough to let them know that they're making the right choice. How do we get these people? Well, we need to have well-defined pains. Now, remember we said a pain is what's going to draw people to you so that they buy your solution, so that they buy your products, your services. When the more specific you are with what it is that you do, then, you know, again, the faster you get your clients, the better you close them, and the more likely you'll get actual people who are ready to buy from you and who are optimal clients. This means that you're not wasting time. This means that you're not wasting money, and your overall health and self-esteem improves because you are actually speaking with people who want to buy from you. You're interacting with people who buy from you, and you're not spending your time wondering whether something's wrong with you because you're not doing a great job at selling, or whether you made a huge mistake going into business for yourself. You really want to just be specific, and that's why I'm always, that's why I call myself the focus coach. It's so important to do the hard work at the very beginning to get really, really specific and basic, because you'll find that that time that you've taken at the very beginning to carve out what's important to you is going to be your greatest friend in the long run, because it'll always make sure that you attract exactly who you need to be attracting at any given moment. This is where the what's in it for me factor comes in. All of us human beings, regardless of how caring or beautiful hearted we are, we all inherently have this one thought when we see something or hear something, which is what's in it for me. A lot of times we have people who will have blog posts or posts that they have online, and what they're going to do is they'll start off with really long stories, hoping that they'll draw in potential clients, without realizing that people don't have that time. They only have a few seconds to grasp what's in it for them. So back to this. Again, we're always taking the point of view of our potential clients, and we're always thinking about them. And the question that we always must answer, even when you're crafting your marketing copy, when you're writing, when you're putting your posts out, when you're doing your videos, when you're, whatever it is that you're doing on social media, when you're having conversations with people, what you want to do is you want to think about the other person and why should that person care, right? So what I see that happens a lot in networking events is people will really go into what they do and why it's so important to them, but they'll lose on the potential client because that person doesn't care yet. The person has 50,000 other thoughts. What's for dinner? Did I lock the door? Is my child going to pass the exam? My spouse isn't speaking with me. My relative is dying. I have no money in the bank account. So, what you have to say is really the least of their concern. Unless you immediately let that person know, this is why you should listen to this. This is why this is important to you. So we always want to answer the question, why should I care? On your notes, I'd like you to write down, why should I care? And write down some of the reasons why people would care about your products. Again, you're going to have to dig deep and be specific. And by this, I mean, don't write there that it's a greater quality of life. As much as we like to be healthy, nobody really cares about that. They have other things that they're thinking about at that time. So think about it in terms of, where would it hurt, right? So, instead of saying something like greater quality of life, which is so arbitrary and idealistic, you want to say, I'll save you $12 a week. Like, this will eliminate the sugar and fat in your diet, which will save you $50 a week or $50 a year, which could go toward your child's RRSP. Make it tangible in a way that someone can look at it and see, oh my goodness, I see why this would be beneficial to me. It all boils down to the pyramid of needs. Now, because of technology and advances, we're moving away from really worrying about biological and physiological needs, such as shelter, that sort of thing. I mean, those are the basic needs. So you'll find that, especially with millennials and just the way the economy is moving, is that people are looking for work. And maybe you're one of them who started your business because you're looking for fulfillment. So it's things other than, I want money in my bank account. People are aware that you can do any kind of work that will bring money in. But what people are looking for now more than ever would be, around the ideas of meaning. So, work that is meaningful, or esteem, work that makes you feel accomplished, that has legacy tied to it. These are the sort of reasons that seem to be showing up a lot in our economy and as we progress.
But what you want to understand, not for why you do the work that you do, is why, like, what's driving your clients, what are their needs, your potential clients, what are their needs, where are they when it comes to this pyramid of needs and your products and services. So is this a basic good or is it a luxury item? And if so, is it priced likewise? And if so, are you speaking in the language of luxury experience, or is this basics, essentials? And for basics, essentials, usually the language would be in terms of cheapest, fastest, most stable. You're going to be trying to hit these points, the biological, physiological needs, safety needs. You're going to be speaking to those needs in the individual. When it comes to luxury items, you're speaking about experience. And so we'll be more here with appreciation of beauty, balance, self-actualization, meaning, feelings of accomplishment. So again, you want to look at what you sell and then figure out where in the hierarchy of needs does it fit in. And are you doing a good job of communicating that to the people who come to you? Now, how will you know? Again, ask your potential clients or speak with people who've paid you before, or simply look at the marketplace when you do your research and figure out why they buy the things that they buy. So for example, you'll find people who may buy skincare not because they want to have great looking skin, as they probably say they do, but more because they're fulfilling the belonging and love. Right? So there's this idea that if you look good, you feel good, then people will like you and surround you. It's that idea of friendship, belonging, being a part of something. So if you understand that, then you're going to use marketing copy that speaks to that need. Now, you're not being deceptive, but what you're doing is that you're hitting the desire right on the head, or you're hitting the pain right on the head. It's the same as if one is to say, come to school so that you can get a great education. That's not going to sell. But what you look at is the outcome, the final case. And for education, it would be a matter of experience, again, because, going to school doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to have a roof over your head. But if you say, you want to walk out with that MBA, so it's that final product, it's that experience, it's that esteem, that accomplishment, that idea of a title that sells. And so you want to think about your products and services in that sort of way, and imagine from your customer's point of view what need in them you're fulfilling with what you sell. So here are some examples of what's in it for me. And you can see that they're quite effective, right? Just the language, you can see what the promise is, and you can see what the needs are that we're hitting. So for example, learn how to make healthy, fresh meals in under 5 minutes a day. Imagine that. I'm telling you how to gain greater health and to save time. You see that? Make healthy, fresh meals under 5 minutes a day. Right there, I've just shown you how you're getting back your time and how you're going to get healthier. And why would this be effective? It would be effective for people who are busy, especially if you're going, say, for parents who, want their children to be healthy, want their family to be healthy, but they just don't have the time to stay over a stove for half an hour. This is something that they would grab. They would say, this really works for me. Busy professionals, that sort of thing. Or what about buy a home and don't pay a cent for 90 days? I mean, right there, you've given someone their desire, the home ownership, right? That title, that prestige, that security, that stability, the basic needs. You've seen all the points that I've hit there. And I'm letting you know that you don't have to make a payment for 90 days. And what I've shown you there is how you're going to save money, or how you're going to make money so that you can pay in 90 days. So again, right there, you can see the needs that we're hitting. And this could be for the newly divorced parent. This could be for the person who's just new in town or new to the country. It could be for someone who has money, but it's tied up, and by the time it's, you know, free, it's going to be about 60 or so days, but the person needs to move into a home. And so here you're giving them what they desire. And again, you're hitting on another a point here, which is the money part, which is, and I am going to save you money, you know, in the interim, or I'm going to buy you time to make the money. So again, you can see with these examples just how we're hitting those points, the three of them: the time, money, health. And also underlying, we can see the hierarchy of needs that's being met. Now, we're not our clients, right? And I've said this before, so we don't see the problem the same way they do. And if you've been doing what you've been doing for a while, you lose that sensitivity. You lose that sensitivity that makes you highly aware of why people buy what they buy from you. And you start to speak in industry lingo. So this is the homework that I'm going to be presenting to you. For the people who are taking my online courses, you're going to use the material that's on there that's going to really help you figure out the what's in it for me factor. But I also want you to ask your clients, ask your potential clients, ask your networking circles, if you're on social media, ask your prospects, ask what they struggle with, and then write down their words. Now, this is going to be very important, this part here where I say you write down their words, and I'm going to show you why. Now, when it comes to asking people what they're struggling with, just again, don't make it generic and say, what's your biggest struggle? That's really lazy. You want to, again, dive in and figure out what people's desires are and what their fears are. So craft your questions based on that. What are the desires and what are the fears when it comes to what you do? And you're going to see from the answers after a while, you're going to be able to see what that person's need is, whether it's physiological, biological, or whether it's, esteem, or whether it's something else. And it's a great, great piece of homework to do because it gives you insight. And insight is what's going to help you with your marketing and with your conversations when you're speaking to people and answering the what's in it for me question. Now, the idea of marketing is this, when you're speaking with people or when you're putting your posts on social media or your website, your landing pages, your workshops, whatever other visibility tools that you use, you want to take people on a journey. You want to take them from questioning to resolution, to having them say, you know what, I'm going to try out what you're offering. And it all starts with curiosity. So when you answer that what's in it for me factor, when you grab them at the very beginning by asking them something that hits their pain point, like that biggest pain that they're experiencing, then you've got their attention. And then after that, you want to give them a little bit more information that leads them to want to know more. And so there's that little journey that you take them, which is from curiosity to query to resolution. And that you've hit it when you have someone who, reacts like, okay, this looks like a good workshop to attend, or that's interesting, I'd like to go and see what else, they have to say on the topic. And again, this seems specific to workshops because workshops are the fastest way to attract and retain clients. This is how you hit that know, like, trust factor quickly, much faster than any other visibility tool that you may use out there. And this is what we want. So even just when you're thinking about things that you're going to be doing in the future to promote your products and services, I just want you cognizant of the journey that you want to take people on. And you want them to go from curiosity to really thinking, okay, so you have the solution and I'm ready to buy from you. And again, you'll know that you're on the right path when you get that agreement. When someone is in agreement with what you're saying or what you're asking, It's not necessarily that they agree with your language, but they fully feel what you're saying, which means that you have hit the pain on the head. You know, you always want to talk about your client's pain, because this is going to trigger them to do the two things that we talked about before, which is avoid or go toward, in meaning desire. If you don't hit the pain, then you know there's no urgency, there's no need to buy from you, there's no need to get your solution. It's just a good to know, great information, thanks, I'm gone. But what you want is to really work around that pain and just really expose it and show it, so that you have more people saying, you know what, I'm done. This is the last time that I'm going to feel this way, and I'm ready for wholeness.